Oh, hello. Early in the 21st century, the Tyrell Corporation advanced robot evolution into the Nexus. Hang on, what? Okay. What? Of course, we create replicants and we use them as slaves. It's an insanity. That's a home run. It's a home run for the human race, isn't it? Equal in intelligence to the genetic engineers, and they use them off-world as slave labor and the colonization of other planets. What? Okay, so Blade Runners are the police. Of course they are. This was not called execution. It was called retirement. Okay, so I guess the goal is to identify who is a replicant, who isn't. Oh, mate, how many people we killing thinking they are and they're not? Okay, wow. Immediately the premise has got me. Are we gonna, sorry, this reeks of the replicants are being mistreated. They do not deserve this at all. And are we going to get Harrison Ford, the Blade Runner, I'm assuming, perhaps renege on the tenets, let's say, of the Blade Runner core? We shall see. 2019. Mate, we are lagging behind, aren't we?
The action time is a factor in this, so please pay attention.
Okay.
You're in a desert, walking along in the sand.
Tatooine.
You're in a desert, walking along in the sand.
Tatooine, trust me, mate.
And you look down.
What desert?
It's completely hypothetical.
But how come I'd be there?
It's a good question.
You see a tortoise, Leon, coming towards
Tortoise? What's that?
Damn, okay.
You know what a turtle is? Same thing.
I feel like there's a lot of people that got angry at that, actually.
Never seen a turtle.
Really? Did we kill them all?
You reach down, you flip the tortoise over on its back, Leon.
Seems cruel.
Do you make up these questions, Mr. Holden? Or they write them down for you?
The tortoise lays on it, but you're not helping.
What do you mean I'm not helping?
Yeah.
I mean you're not helping. Why is that, Leon?
This is hypothetical, my friend. What do you mean? Why is that?
They're just questions, Leon.
Right, okay, they're trying to figure out if he's a replicant, I'm guessing.
It's a test designed to provoke an emotional response.
See if you're human? So there's this idea that replicants can't have emotions.
My mother? Let me tell you about my mother.
Whoa. What? Okay. Leon having a bad day. We've all been there. There he is.
Off-world colony, the chance to begin again in a golden land of opportunity.
Is it?
That was my profession. Ex-cop, ex-Blade Runner,
Okay, used to be.
ex-killer.
Killer. So has he already gone through the whole thing of this isn't ethical, I wonder?
Give me 4. No, 4. 2, 2, 4.
Well, now I'm feeling like you're saying 8, mate. It's like, do I add it up?
Sushi. That's what my ex-wife called me. Cold fish.
Where'd you get that from, mate? What you been doing?
He say you Blade Runner.
Tell him I'm eating. Brian, huh?
Alright, he's a bad boy. Yeah, I feel like I'm wearing out this phrase at this point, watching, you know, all these older films, Aliens, Blade Runner. The effects are so good, huh?
The charmer's name was Gaff.
Brought the food. Priorities.
That gibberish he talked was city speak. A mishmash of Japanese, Spanish, German, what have you.
Ah, multicultural.
I knew the lingo every good cop did, but I wasn't gonna...
He's just been difficult, huh? We love him for that.
Now on glide path.
The music is kind of alien, isn't it? You know, zany. I'm watching the film and I'm listening, the music's playing over, and I don't feel at home. It's not my Earth. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like obviously you see that from the visuals, the city, but the music, I think it elevates this sense of other. Like I say, alien. I don't know, it creates kind of a character for the film. The film so far is trying to make you as the audience go, okay, look at this dystopian future. But I think the music kind of transports you there. It's kind of the final note in that picture. It's really effective, I think, in setting, like I say, the character of the film and really selling that dystopian vibe.
I've got 4 skin jobs walking the streets.
Okay, but he doesn't work here.
Skin jobs.
Anymore.
That's what Bryant called replicants. In history books, he's the kind of cop used to call black men.
Okay. Yeah, so very much establishing that Deckard sees the replicants as human, as autonomous individuals that should be afforded respect in the same way that humans are. And clearly some don't think that. It's really nice how the film is kind of making you as the audience warm to his character. We're introduced to him at the beginning. He's a little bit of a rebel, you know, he's wanted, right? He was this Blade Runner, but he's not anymore. He goes his own way. Strong individual, rebelling against authority. I think, you know, he's a little bit of a maverick. And then also that empathy that I think is coming through in the nuance of the dialogue, the story. And I think this idea that he does, I think, give the replicants in his own mind humanity. Already, you know, we're 12 minutes in, but his character has really quite nicely been established straight from the off in a way that I think connects the audience to him.
Give it to Holden. He's good.
He can breathe okay as long as nobody unplugs him.
Wow.
Not good as you. I need the old Blade Runner.
And there you go as well. Another thing that I think the audience would latch onto. He's not just good, he's the best.
I'm twice as quick now.
Yeah, and also mystery. I mean, you know, look, I've got my theory as to why he is what he is, ex-Blade Runner. But yeah, that thing of, I don't work here anymore, I quit. It's mystery. You know, why did you quit? What was that about? It draws you in, makes you want to know, right? It's kind of a double whammy. It's like, okay, you make this character that people are like, I like you. In subtle ways, I think in ways that perhaps maybe even as the audience, you're like, I don't know why I like you, I just like you. You know, but it plays on these tropes that I think we as humanity latch onto, you know, in people, especially in films, right? It does that, and then it gives you a reason to ask questions about him. Who are you? Why are you like that? Why did you make those decisions? You know, it interests you. Making the audience do that in that 1-2 punch right at the beginning. Brilliant foundation to set.
You know the score, pal. You're not cops, you're little people.
Is that a threat? Oh, very nice, mate. Hey, tell you what, you could make a business out of that.
No choice, huh?
No choice, pal.
Reaction time is a factor in this, so please pay attention.
Yeah, I'm curious about their motivations, the replicants. I mean, is it just as simple as they want life somewhere to live? Because arguably they had that off-world. Was it just really horrible? There's a lot of intrigue about this film already, really early.
3 male, 3 female. They slaughtered 23 people and jumped a shuttle. Tried to break into Tyrell Corporation.
Why Tyrell?
So you look down, you see a tortoise. It's crawling towards you.
To be fair, as a human, listening to these questions, it was odd to me. I'm not a replicant, I promise.
Well, I don't get it. What do they risk coming back to Earth for? That's unusual.
Yeah, right?
What do they want out of the Tyrell Corporation?
Yes, exactly. And just in case the audience didn't get those questions, that intrigue is given to you.
They were designed to copy human beings in every way except their emotions.
Really?
But after a few years, they might develop their own emotional responses.
Right.
Hate, love, fear, anger, envy. So they built in a fail-safe device.
God, of course they did.
4-year lifespan.
Jeez. Yeah.
I'd quit because I'd had a belly full of killing.
Right. Just simple. Fair play.
But then I'd rather be a killer than a victim. And that's exactly what Bryant's threat about little people meant.
Yeah.
Split later. I didn't have to worry about Gaff.
Yeah, a bit of a Lone Ranger, isn't he? Okay.
Do you like our owl?
It's alright, mate, actually, yeah. Did shock me. I'm like, why is it here?
I'm Rachel.
Hello?
Deckard.
It seems you feel our work is not a benefit.
Mate, honestly, I feel like I'm looking at everybody and I'm like, you're a replicant, you're a replicant, who's a replicant? You know what I mean? I'm like, have we got a conspiracy on our hands, right? Are we all, do you know what I mean? I need to be less paranoid, it's true, it is true.
Have you ever retired a human by mistake?
This is what I mean, how many accidents?
No.
Involuntary dilation of the iris.
A beautiful backdrop, by the way. That backdrop and this music strikes such a vivid feel for the film.
Indulge me.
On you?
Is he testing Deckard to see how good he is?
Try her.
Is she a replicant?
You're reading a magazine, you come across a full-page nude photo of a girl.
Is this testing whether I'm a replicant or a lesbian, Mr. Deckard?
You can be both. Go on, what's the verdict? She's human, right?
Would you step out for a few moments, Rachel?
I tell you what, this guy's glasses are extra. I love it. So the Tyrell Corps made the replicants, is that right? They're the corporation behind it.
She's a replicant, isn't she?
I'm impressed.
Right.
Questions does it usually take to spot one?
20, 30, cross-reference.
It took more than 100 for Rachel, didn't it?
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
She's beginning to suspect, I think.
That's crazy.
Commerce is our goal here at Tyrell. More human than human is our motto. Rachel is an experiment, nothing more.
That's such an interesting question, isn't it? Is that ethical to not tell them? And then it's like, at what point do they become human? How do you define human? Whether they're born or made? Maybe there's a certain acknowledgement of like, that could change, right? I mean, what are we, really? emotions and memory. Sure, a whole lot of other things too, but what really makes us? What is human? What is it to be human? I mean, if those emotions are authentic in the same way that humanity exhibits them, there's nothing to say that these replicants aren't behaving as humans would. The only difference is the barrier in our mind that tells us they're different. But if it's so real, if they integrate so well that you can't tell. I mean, he said, you know, there was over 100 for Rachel. It took him a long time to really figure it out whether she was, and that was a very specific test to work it out, specifically to work it out. If you weren't doing that, she'd pass, likely, probably, as human. Sorry, this isn't this isn't really part of the film. Maybe it is going to be part of the film, I don't know, but I find it so interesting, right, as a concept, these replicants and the line that can be drawn. I feel like, you know, there should be almost this idea of, okay, once these are created and they are so effective in their manufacture that they begin to express themselves and exist in the same way that humans do, to the point that you have to do a specialized test to work out whether they are or not. I mean, at that point, is the definition of human, does that accommodate the replicants? Because I'd say so. I don't know a whole lot about them necessarily, but from what I've seen, sorry, again, an interesting question, and I feel like maybe the film's going to address that, perhaps.
More human than human is our motto.
Yeah, more human than human. What is human?
After all, they are emotionally inexperienced with only a few years in which to store up the experiences.
Experiences, there we go.
Which you and I take for granted.
We do, yeah.
If we gift them with the past,
right,
a cushion or pillow for their emotions, and consequently we can control them better.
Control, interesting word. That's the thing, isn't it, as well? As, you know, this guy here, you know, in the opening crawl, it's like, you know, what's the function? What's the intent behind them? What are they for? And I suppose that's interesting how we funnel humanity into these systems, you know, whether it's capitalism and through capitalism, we have these corporations, right? And, you know, we had them sent off world for slave labor. How can we use them? But before we had replicants, humanity has been used that way too. I love the experiences, memories. Yeah, exactly. What makes them up? What makes them what they are? How can we make them more than human? For what? For an experience? I love already all of the ideas, all of the philosophy almost involved in the film and the conception that the film is kind of laying before you as the audience. There's so much conversation that can come from this idea.
You're talking about memories.
Right, so they've not had memories before. Maybe he's going to ask the question.
Live. Nice place? Yeah, sure, I guess.
He's ostracized from the Blade Runner community. He's thinking for himself. He's been shown to think for himself. Maybe he'll come to some of these conclusions. Googe. I'll tell you what, someone had a good time. Wow, not paying attention at all, is he? Just making these little guys. That's worse than your last one, mate, I'll be honest with you.
Replicants didn't have families either.
Right, so were they wrong?
Time.
Oh god.
Enough.
I don't know what your nail care routine is, mate, but it needs some work. Well, that's a choice. A little bit grungy, innit? Please don't eat it. No, it's a lab. Okay, mate, turn the heater up. That's what I'm saying. Treat yourself. Oh, we've got Mr. Freeze, okay. Oh.
Yes. Questions.
What's the goal, mate? Are you just looking for some more dye?
Morphology, longevity, incept dates.
I don't know such stuff.
Yeah, you'd think if they've got a 4-year lifespan, they'd be looking to fix that, right?
You Nexus, huh? I design your eyes.
If only you could see what I've seen with your eyes.
What have you seen?
Tyro, he knows everything.
Right, so they're incept dates. They don't know when they were made, so they don't know how much time they have left. It'd be interesting. I wonder if their goal is just to live. They don't want anything else, they just want to live.
Let's continue, shall we?
Wow, I feel like I'm in an esophagus. Whoa. That is a... Okay.
I wanted to see you,
Interesting.
so I waited. Let me help.
She's so interesting. She's a replicant, and if she doesn't know she's a replicant, working it out, right, whatever, she doesn't necessarily have the angst or that feeling of being hard done by that these other replicants have. But obviously Deckard's going to have this thing of feeling a little nervous around her. But yeah, she's very unique. She is a replicant, but she's not quite the replicant or the idea of replicant that we have been introduced to in the film. She's so interesting.
You think I'm a replicant, don't you?
Is she gonna try and persuade him that she's not?
It's me with my mother.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Remember when you were 6? You and your brother snuck into an empty building through a basement window?
Yeah, they've been implanted in her.
Remember the spider that lived in a bush outside your window?
The egg hatched.
And 100 baby spiders came out.
That is hell fuel.
And they ate her.
Beautiful. Thanks for that.
Implants.
No, in webs.
They're Tyrell's nieces.
That's devastating, that, isn't it? To be told that. Imagine if anyone told you today, actually, hey, you're not human, you were made. And you didn't even know. You were made that well. That's crazy. What a thing for her to have to go through too.
I made a bad joke. You're not a replicant. Go home.
Oh, bless her. Yeah, he's not devoid of empathy, is he?
Want a drink?
Goddamn, yeah. I mean, honestly, mate, you're taking it well. Like, I love the design of this place. It feels so... It's familiar, but it's so alien. Again, that word, right? It's like the film... It's like they, in the concept of the designing all of this film, you know, whether it's sets, whether it's the music, any concept art that they had, I feel like the note was alien, ironically enough, considering I know I was told this was in the same universe as Alien, right?
Tyrell really did a job on Rachel.
Yeah, so cruel.
Replicants weren't supposed to have feelings.
Right.
Neither were Blade Runners.
Right.
What the hell was happening to me?
And that's an interesting, you are to some extent this like what a replicant is supposed to be. You are a man for a job. You're not meant to feel, you're just meant to do the thing. And hey, it's interesting how that line there and that similarity between the Blade Runners and the replicants, I think, does offer a path from one to the other. You know, him being an ex-Blade Runner, an ostracized, reluctant Blade Runner as well. So he doesn't want to be it, doesn't like it. That connection offers a way in for Deckard emotionally, mentally, to empathize with the replicants and the life they've been given. They don't get to say, no, I'm not a replicant and step out. This is too hard. That's their identity. It's who they are. And I mean, to be fair, because what I was going to say was Deckard could step away. He can stay. It's a job. The Blade Runner is a job. At the same time, as we saw at the beginning of the film, he doesn't really have much of a choice. He was roped back in, right? This idea of identity, I think, in this film so far, you know, being judged for that and not being able to turn away from it. You have to live with it and deal with it. And as much as perhaps you might want to step out from that because it's not pleasant, you keep getting roped back in. And I think, like I say, that's something that Deckard, not quite the same obviously, but Deckard has experienced, and it gives him a line to empathize with them.
What the hell was happening to me?
Right, you're feeling for her. But I think as well, puts you as the audience, you see Rachel coming in and she's crying. It makes you feel for her. All of these questions that I'm asking, how horrible would that be if you suddenly were like, okay, I'm not real? It's heartrending, it's horrible, it's a horrible situation, and the film makes you feel that. You know, it puts you emotionally alongside Deckard, feeling these things for the first time. He is the conduit through which the audience experiences what's happening because he's going through it himself, and that's a really effective protagonist.
Leon's pictures had to be as phony as Rachel's. They needed memories.
I feel like the film is teeing up to some kind of huge reveal or some like revelation about humanity. It feels like that kind of film. I like it. I'm waiting for it, you know? Kind of a mystery thriller, right? It's like, why are they here? What are they looking for? Should they be given it? Should they not? Because this is the thing as well. You could get, and we do get, this kind of concept today, or some kind of original concept, but I feel like the feel of the film, the design of the film, it feels so original. It feels like its own character almost. I realize it's the 1980s, so it's still, you know, relatively early on. It's still kind of paving the way of filmmaking, and you know, the same way that Alien was. So I get that's a certain part of it, but I suppose me coming from my perspective of, you know, seeing however many films and, you know, the films that have come after that have been influenced by this kind of stuff, this still feels very unique. And I think it's because, like I say, I think in whatever design stage it was, they picked a direction, ran with it. Like, it very much knows what it is. design-wise. Very dystopian future, but it's very grungy, all that kind of stuff. And like I say, I think, you know, this compared with like modern filmmaking, a concept like this, there are really interesting concepts happening today, really interesting ideas, really interesting stories. I think sometimes what perhaps trips up modern filmmaking is this crunch, speed, money. I feel like there's not as much care, time put into stuff these days in the same way that there was back then, in the same way that achieves the level of kind of uniqueness, originality to the flavor that they're presenting to you of the thing. We've got Deckard with the protagonist, but I feel like alongside him is the character of the film. It's very present in the design of it, the aesthetic, the feel, the sound. And I feel like to construct that takes time and effort, which I feel like a lot of modern filmmaking doesn't have, which means that I feel like it's lacking in ways that films like this aren't. But I don't know, maybe I haven't seen enough films. If there's something that you can think of that's been made in the last maybe 10 years that you've seen that maybe goes against what I'm saying, put it down in the comments, let me know. Everyone chill.
Hey!
Jeez, wow, straight through the window, eh?
You forgot your bag.
Bless you, mate. Interesting, so she's the other replicant then?
What's your name? Mine's J.F. Sebastian.
Hello.
Hi. You want to come in?
I was hoping you'd say that.
Okay. Go down.
You live in this building all by yourself?
What?
I live here pretty much alone right now.
I mean, you got all your friends here, mate? I don't know.
Plenty of room for everybody.
Uh-huh. Jeff, mate, are you okay? What's going on?
Must get lonely here, Chad.
Not really. I make friends.
Who are they?
They're toys.
Right. I thought he was going to say that, you know?
It's a hobby. I'm a genetic designer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what that is?
Right, is he a little cracked?
Home again, Jiggity.
Oh. Okay. I can't decide if this is now less weird or more weird. Because they're not inanimate objects, but also they're moving, mate. What's that about?
They're my friends.
Right. Bit of a genius, yeah, fair play. You're a little bit tortured, aren't you, mate? With this existence. And that's the question of the film, isn't it? What's the point of this existence? What makes it an existence? Because that's what the replicants are looking for.
Pan right and pull back.
Is he going to be a replicant? I'm sorry, I've got to stop.
Give me a hard copy right there.
Oh, he's sleuthing. Mate, that came out grainy. You want to try that again? Ah, the bathtub. Yeah. Mystery, 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 eh? You got a bird on your head, mate. Are you aware? I'm not sure he is.
Snake scale.
Okay.
Look, my friend. Nothing new, he says. Chinatown.
Easy as that, eh?
You ever buy snakes from the Egyptian, Taffy?
All the time, pal.
Alright, can the attitude.
The man is dry. Give him one in the house.
You need to clear your throat out, I feel like, mate. Just one of those, do you know what I mean? Do us all a favour. Ooh, little fancy drink. Yeah, why not? From France, mate. Looking back at her pictures, eh?
I've had people walk out on me before, but not when I was being so charming. And why don't you come on down here and have a drink?
That's not my kind of place.
What's the alcohol content in that, mate? What was that?
Watch her take the pleasures from the serpent.
Do what? With the what? I'll be honest with you, my fancy's tickled. Oh, we're not seeing it. Really? Okay, so it's what I thought. Fair enough.
Excuse me, Miss Salome, can I talk from the Confidential Committee on Moral Abuses?
Are you for real?
I'd like to check your dressing room.
Flamingo! Sorry. Apologies. Sorry, we like flamingos here, okay? Just get on board. Be easier, trust me. She's very at ease taking a shower while he's there. Fair play to her. With the beads on it. Hey. Okay. You don't need to flex that hard on me, mate. I'll tell you what, that seems efficient, but the bed head... Oh.
Is this a real...
No, that's beautiful. Fair play.
This if I could afford a real snake?
So, that's a booby. Alright, sorry, was not prepared.
You're a dedicated man. Try me.
Try you? Okay, you just met him. He's good looking. Do you know what? I can't fault her for that. Whoa, hello. Let's just chill. Oh, I thought she was going to suffocate him. I apologise. I'm the problem. Fair enough. Oh. No, okay, it's not better. Wow, I am back and forth in this scene so hard. My God. I like that she thought that putting that on was important, like it did a lot. Do you know what I mean? I love how convoluted the film is kind of becoming. Oh, just this rabbit hole that Deckard's going down. You know, he's kind of going deeper and deeper into this kind of seedy underbelly of this dystopian city that we kind of see right from the off, kind of allowing us as the audience to delve deep into it. I quite like that. You know, some films, they kind of do this thing where they CGI effects, whatever, practical effects, whatever they use, you know, you don't necessarily always get the effect though that you're kind of rifling through. Really tells you a lot for the state of the average mind in this city, that this guy is running around with a drawn gun and no one cares. Fires a gun, no one cares. That's crazy. Jeez. God. Stop going through glass. Okay.
The report would be routine retirement of a replicant, which didn't make me feel any better about shooting a woman in the back. There it was again. Feeling. For her. For Rachel.
Yeah, because the line of replicant and humans, very not so easy to figure out, eh? Still feels like you're killing a human, because I mean, that definition of human is up for debate, I think. What he's contending with. Well, he's very good at his job, isn't he? That's probably the problem for him.
4 more to go.
There's 3 to go.
Rachel disappeared, vanished. Didn't even know she was a replicant.
Really? So she's on the list now? Well, he's not going to be able to do her, is he? Yeah, it feels like the revelation we're kind of building towards is actually the replicants are not so far away from humanity as the characters in the film are trying to say they are. And I feel like the crisis of conscience that Deckard's going through is probably the same that maybe the audience is going through at this time too. Of, is this right? Is this okay? This perception that we have of them.
Leon, how old am I?
Whoa. Well, let's all relax, eh? Let's have a conversation.
Painful living fear, isn't it?
Yeah, how would you like it, right?
Nothing is worse than having an itch you can never scratch.
Mate, you're closer than you think with Deckard.
Time to die.
Jeez, whoa. Oh, hello. Goddamn. There we go. Some humanity, and by that I mean empathy. From Rachel. See, we're being taught that, you know, conditioning, nurture matters. I mean, you know, look, I wouldn't even put it past these replicants that are lashing out and being violent as necessarily being wrong. They're under attack by humanity. They've been declared illegal. They were made and now they're feeling these emotions. They're becoming what we would more associate with humanity as human, and they're being attacked. And then if they want freedom, life, which any human should ordinarily just be given, be allowed, they can't have that, you know. That is being attacked. So it's like, I don't even blame those replicants, but at the same time, part of why they are who they are, why they are, and the way they're behaving is predicated on this upbringing that they've had of being that. Rachel hasn't had that. She hasn't had that hard upbringing necessarily. I mean, it's still difficult, right? Like I said before, being told you're a replicant when you thought you were human, and coming, or, you know, slowly coming to that realization, and then, you know, having that confirmed is a lot. At the same time, she hasn't necessarily known that existence of constantly being attacked for your identity. Right. So it's like, I understand both parties for sure. But at the same time, Rachel is that example of, if you treat them a certain way, if you raise them a certain way, they can, despite anything, see what is right and good. Deckard was getting beat up. He was going to die. And she pulled a gun and defended him, helped him, when we had this other replicant doing the bad deed. And like I say, so it comes down to this idea of nurture and these different upbringings that they've had. and how powerful that is. And as much as, like I say, you can get on the side, as I have been really the whole film, of the replicants that we have that are essentially the antagonists of the film, like I feel for them absolutely, and I think that they're justified in some sense for, you know, lashing back. They're just defending themselves at the end of the day. And I think there's a case to be made, a very, very strong case to be made, that they are, by our definition, human. While that still exists, they were still attacking Deckard, which the nuance of it is so interesting, because you can understand why they did that based on what Deckard did, but Deckard, as we as the audience know, didn't really want to do that. He was being pressured to do it by the powers that be. The real villain, as we kind of see in Alien, is corporation, capitalism, this idea of, well, they exist for this reason. All of the power behind it all is the system in place that makes people feel and think certain ways, gives them goals, which makes them pressure people like Deckard, the working man, to act in certain ways, in ways that they perhaps don't want. Which is also why the replicants are acting the way they are, because the powers that be have decided who they are, what they are, and what should be done with them, right? The real villain are the corporations. You know, that commentary is very stark. It's the root cause of the actual problems going on in the film. But there are nuances as you kind of go down the levels. Deckard's not a bad person, we know that. He's being pressured. The replicants aren't necessarily bad, they're just being pressured to act in a certain way because of the situation. Super interesting, super complex actually, when you really get down to it, of all of the emotions at play. Power at play, where the power lies, and why things are why they are, what's driving the plot. And actually at the center of it, this theme of humanity, and what is that? And these two humans here, Deckard and, well, humans, but I would say so, and Rachel too, dealing with these very human things, dealing with these emotions, the shakes here, right, that he's talking about.
Shakes? Me too. Part of the business.
I'm not in the business.
You are now, whether you like it or not, same as he is.
I am the business.
Yeah. Hey, you're in it together. And a question for him. She's been put on the list. By all rights, he should get rid of her, but can't see it happening, eh? She almost studying him. You know, what's it like to be human? Because you got to imagine that's kind of some of what's going through her head. You know, this crisis of identity. I thought I was human. Now I've had it confirmed I'm not. Am I doing it right?
Would you come after me?
No, I wouldn't. I owe you one.
What a human interaction too. You saved my life, I owe you one now. Almost this human pact that she's a part of now.
You know that void comp test of yours? Did you ever take that test yourself? Deckard?
So you sleep.
I didn't know if I could play. I remember lessons. I don't know if it's me or Terrell's niece.
Yeah, but how interesting is that, right? Memory is so interesting as a concept because it's so almost unreliable too. But it does, it degrades as we get older too. So the memory that we have, it's like you don't necessarily remember everything the same way. That's also very human. You sometimes don't know, you age, and it's like, I know this, I don't know how I know this or why I know this, I just remember at some point I learned it. Yeah, memory is such an interesting thing. Very human, but it's not absolute. It's very malleable, very unreliable in some cases too. And so it's like, yeah, I kind of put it down as to one of the things that makes us human, right, you know, earlier. But even that comes with its complexities. And so the way they're talking about it, again, the gap between human and replicant doesn't seem that wide. And it's like, it's the question, does it really matter? She's like, I'm not sure what it is, whether it was implanted or whether I learned or whether what. It's like, does it matter? You know it. Give her a sec. Okay, that's fair. That's absolutely fair, mate. Whoa, no grabby hands, sir. Whoa, let's chill. No. Jeez. I think that's a no, mate. No. No, it's not romantic. She doesn't want it. This is weird.
Kiss me.
No, you're not teaching it. This isn't a safe space.
Say kiss me.
Oh, this is a little assaulty, isn't it? It's not ideal, admittedly.
I want you.
How do you feel?
I want you.
Do you? Or is it just because he's trained you to say
I want you.
that? Because we just had a bit of dialogue where he trained her. Like, she's in, you can't forget, she's in this crisis of identity where she doesn't know what's real, what makes her human, what she should do or shouldn't. I don't love this scene. Sorry, maybe this is a mood killer, but I don't. Right, so she's in that frame of mind, and he is doing this thing where he's like teaching her to go along with what he thinks should happen of no, I'm good looking, I'm charming, you should want me, I want to kiss you, you should want to kiss me, that's how humans work. And it's like, seems predatory, mate, if I'm honest with you. And then because of that interaction, then now, okay, next sentence is like her going, oh, okay, yeah, let me say this is what I should do in this situation, right? Which isn't necessarily what she might want, but what she thinks makes her human, which is what she wants, I think, right now. There is a generous reading of this scene. That being trying to demonstrate to the audience how unhealthy it is to just go along with what you're told to do. After all, this is a theme throughout the film. This idea of power, where it lies, and having to just go along with the status quo, whether that's Deckard trying to get away from being a Blade Runner and not being able to, or social norms that dictate if a man wants sex and he's good looking, you should want it, and you're weird or abnormal if you don't. This could well be the intent of the scene. Truthfully, I don't think it's presented well enough if that was the intent, but if it was, then Deckard has become part of the very thing he feels so trapped by. He's very clearly using his power to get what he wants. He blocks the door, slams his fist. He's not in the right here. He very much represents the oppressive. Okay.
How do I look?
You look better.
Really? Do we think?
You look beautiful.
He doesn't think so. This is a murder hellscape waiting to happen, isn't it?
How old are you?
25.
Really? You look 40. Sorry, that was rude. I apologise.
My glands, they grow old too fast.
Oh.
Hi, Roy.
You had a haircut?
Really got some nice toys here.
Alright, mate. Stop looking at the toys like that, okay? They're not that kind of toys. Maybe they are. I actually have very little information on them.
How about some breakfast?
Oh, what you got, mate? Yeah, some coffee, because that's important.
There's only two of us now.
We're stupid and we'll die.
No, we won't.
Her face paint's kind of interesting, isn't it? Almost trying to hide. You know, she looks very human. It's almost like she's internally kind of putting on this face paint, covering that humanity, that visage of humanity. Because she's not human. Or at least she perhaps doesn't think of herself as human. I don't know. It shows you a little bit, about, I suppose, maybe about her personality and where these guys are at.
Why are you staring at us, Sebastian?
You're so different.
Are they?
You're so perfect.
Right. That's always the question, isn't it? Perfection.
There's some of me in you. Show me something. Like anything.
That's so interesting. Show me something, like they're toys, like they're objects, like you know, they're a magic trick. And then in the background, as he says that,
show me something.
The cuckoo clock exemplifies that feeling of this difference that they've all struck in this scene of the humans and the replicants. This idea of perfection, and he goes, yeah, do something, anything. You're different to me. Show me something.
Like anything.
We're no computers, Sebastian. We're physical.
Yeah, you're not toys.
I think, Sebastian, therefore I am.
We've got a lot in common.
Yeah?
Similar problems.
Oh.
Accelerated decrepitude.
Yeah, so that's the goal, huh?
See, good. Your opponent.
Oh, Dr. Terrell?
Dr. Terrell.
He's a genius.
Ah.
He designed you.
Did he?
Maybe he could help.
Yeah, these guys aren't the bad guys as much as obviously they're being geared that way.
Hard man to get to.
Yes.
Okay. What a trap.
You're our best and only friend.
It is a bit of a gem, yeah. Apart from the toy thing, I'm not sure what's going on there, but you know.
We're so happy you found us.
I don't think there's another human being in the whole world who would have helped us.
That's sad, isn't it? Yeah, fair. Yeah, you say that, but Deckard has and does with Rachel. Yeah, and they're cunning, but they have to be. They have a whole race of humanity, of humans that are working against them. Just because of something out of their control, you know, what they are, who they are. I have a lot of sympathy for them.
A Mr. J.F. Sebastian.
Have they infiltrated? Yep, okay.
Clean the Bishop 6 check.
Nonsense. Just a moment. You better come up, Sebastian.
Oh dear for you, mate. Oh God.
Surprised you didn't come here sooner.
It's not an easy thing to meet your maker.
What can he do for you?
Okay, we're civil.
What seems to be the problem?
I want more life.
coding sequence cannot be revised once it's been established.
What about EMS recombination?
Right, so you can't reverse the Fourier thing once they're made.
Carries a mutation and you've got a virus again. All of this is academic. You were made as well as we could make you.
Right.
But not to last.
So the Fourier thing's not optional. I thought it was.
Nothing the god of biomechanics wouldn't let you in heaven.
Hey, why not? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, what a torturous existence he made for Roy and those like him. Life and the promise of life, but limited. 4 years and no way out of that. And Glasses fella didn't think of all of that when he made them, did he? He only thought about if he could do it, not whether he should.
What are you doing here? I'm working. What are you doing? Hi, is JF there?
Who is it?
Your old friend of JF.
What an infiltrator, isn't he? Mate, just like close your eyes like just like a little bit. The wide-eyed gaze is a little unsettling. Okay, we're back. Sweet. The veil's not helping it, actually. Are we getting married or is it my funeral? Do you know what I mean? I feel like this movie is all about subtlety. You know, it's this undertone, this narrative of humanity, human nature. What makes us human? Where's that line? You know, it's not grand plans of, okay, here's the plot and here's the big bad to get rid of at the end of it. You know, we've kind of done that now. The creator, the genius, he's been taken care of. The replicant, Roy got rid of him. What's left? The nuance, the humanity, the question. It's a really subtle film, really nuanced, really deep film for that, I think. Dressed up in this thriller mystery. I mean, look at this. It's a little bit of an art piece. You know, this dystopian art piece, this funky, grungy, dark, bright piece, film. You know, it's kind of great for that. It's unsettling in nice ways. Oh god, yeah, tell the mannequin from the mannequin, eh? There she is, but that's hell fuel, mate. I'm so curious at this point in the film what the conclusion of the film is going to be, or whether the point, really, you went straight to her. Whether the point is going to be introducing these questions. Ah, yeah. Mate. Oh, the sound. Okay, sure. God. Deckard, man, come on. They love to try and... Whoa. Oh, ow. My friend. That is not the way to introduce yourself. This man just loves getting throttled, doesn't he, really? Don't know that. That face, yep. Okay. I'm alright. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, the question is almost like, why am I here shooting them? They're just these tortured beings, but why are they being tortured? Who's torturing them? We are, humans. Why? Their identity. No other reason. They're not out to hurt anybody. They've just been made to suffer. All they want is to be left alone and to live, but they've not been allowed to. Whether that's at the conception of their creation and the 4-year thing, or whether it was after and what was done with them. There's an undertone of this commentary of how a lot of minorities are treated today. Still, it's a film that's still very... Okay. Sure. Still very relevant, I think, even today.
This is for Zora.
Ow.
Now it's my turn.
Oh god.
I'm gonna give you a few seconds before I come.
Whoa, hey, hang on, safe word. Can we introduce a safe word? Yeah. The way that you called Deckard Little Man there, there's actually a lot of similarity between the way that you are both being manipulated by the system. The status quo. Ouch. Where's Rachel, I wonder? My friend. What? Okay. Yeah, we Roy, mate.
I can see you!
You gotta chill. Ah, that shot, eh? Ah. Yeah, he's, do you think he's gonna give out? Because I guess he's approaching the end of his life. Is he gonna get Deckard, have him dead to rights, and then he gives in? He just stops. Yeah, look at these scenes intersposed on each other, the similarities, because that's the point. How close are they? How similar are they actually? Because they are. Like I say, this film is a comparison almost of the human and the replicant. How actually they're presented on the surface as these very different, irrevocably different things, and actually what we're being shown by the film is that they're very similar in a lot of ways, in the ways that they have no power. The power lies in these corporations driven by capitalism. I mean, consumerism through capitalism. We had the opening crawl at the beginning of, slave labor for what? The implication certainly is to help with profits of something, someone. And Deckard is within that machine. Essentially, his function is to oil those gears to keep it going. Get rid of the replicants, this parasite in the grand machine of what exists. Deckard, when he realized how inhumane that was, the toll it was taking on him, tried to get out and couldn't. The power was taken out of his hands, this visual mode of communication the film is using to show this inability to control their own destiny, because Deckard and Roy are very much beings that don't control their own destiny. They are both in this place not because of their own individual choice, but because the powers that be have decided that they are these beings in the society, these cogs in this machine that have to act a certain way because that's just a lot they are given. The film is this wider commentary on the powerlessness of capitalism. Through corporatism, through being an individual in these systems. And I think these scenes here are meant to show how, like I say, similar the two of them are within that. These broken hands giving out. It was beautiful and really nuanced.
You better get it up.
You what, mate? Why did you come through the wall that way, mate? Are you okay?
6.
There was an open door right there. Alright, sure. My god, this guy's head trauma is insane. What is your deal, okay? Can we stop bursting through things in weird ways? Because that's actually more unsettling than the murderous intent.
That was irrational of you, not to mention unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike, eh? Yeah, you keep saying that because humanity should govern itself by rules. That's what it says, right? There's all these rules. You're governing yourself by them because that's what you were taught. But humanity doesn't seem to follow them. Again, all these similarities, differences based on replicant, human. What are the rules? What makes you human? What actually truly makes you human? Is it memory, experience? Is it these rules that we make for ourselves? This idea of being sportsmanlike? I think all of these different subtleties that help to maybe answer that question of what makes us human, what keeps us civil, what creates civilization. I feel like he's kind of let himself go a little. He's free. He's freed himself a little bit. Do you know what I mean? This idea of kind of shedding his clothes, of the wolf thing, the awoo, the howling at the moon that he keeps doing. It's like he's been set free. This idea of, he's killed his maker. Who can say that? Right? We can't. How many people can really say that? He's got nothing else to live for. He knows his time is numbered. He shed his clothes, he's bounding about, his movement is very much like a creature. It's not human anymore so much. It's personification of the wolf, the howling. He's not really fulfilling the function anymore of the question of what is humanity. It's almost this beast coming for Deckard, pressuring Deckard almost, chasing. It's like, what's your choice here? What is the move, the final move you're gonna make? Where are you gonna find your humanity? Because Deckard, the whole film has been going through this back and forth of like, where's his humanity? He doesn't want to be a Blade Runner, but he is, and he can't get out. Yeah, there's been this very present question throughout the film of how far does his humanity stretch? Where is that? Where's his direction? And what's his place? And it feels as if Roy's kind of almost dehumanization, this personification of the wolf, the nakedness, chasing Deckard specifically, pressuring him. It's like, okay, right, we're coming for you now, mate. What's your purpose here? What are you gonna kind of come down on in your choice for humanity, your own humanity? What's that choice going to look like? Is it going to look like sparing him? Is it going to look like becoming an animal in the sense of killing Roy or whatever it might be? Like, I'm so curious what it's going to come down on. But I think all of this kind of personification in the film is very specific. It feels very specific, at least. That's my interpretation of it. I think ever since Roy killed his maker, his role in the film changed and became more of an appendage to Deckard's role in the film. Because at this point, Roy's story's done. It's over. Yeah. I mean, so far, Deckard's fleeing. He's not fighting. He doesn't want to fight. That's the point. That's been his whole character arc in this film. He doesn't want to. Huh. A dove, eh? Purity. Okay. What are we gonna get? You gonna reach out a hand to help him up or push him down?
Quite an experience to live in fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is to be a slave.
Because you are. You're all living in fear. He is. You are. You have been. He has been. What if you didn't?
Kinship!
Ah, kinship. Beautiful. There's humanity right there, helping one another. Kinship. I feel like Roy's just going to give out. Holding a dove.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain.
There's something beautiful in that, right? Because that's the point of it, his lines, the fleeting nature of life, the memories, how they belong to us as individuals, and this idea he keeps repeating throughout this whole film. You wouldn't believe what I've seen. These wondrous things that will be gone and no one else will ever see them. It's just mine, they're mine. Which makes me, it gives him validity. Almost. I'm the only one who's seen this. You haven't, just me. And that gives me a certain level of validity that you don't have, almost. But at the same time, you have your own memories that no one else has ever seen, and that gives you validity. That's what makes you human, right? And that's the beauty in them. That line,
tears
in rain.
In rain.
Yeah, and in tears, there's so much meaning. They're there for a reason. They're not given freely. But in rain, they're nothing more than water. They're nothing more. They go unnoticed, and yet they are these drops of importance, of individuality. They are there and only there because something has happened. Yeah, it's this existential question of the fleeting nature of humanity, and it's really deep. It's a really cool film for that, and it is really subtle, and it's been represented by these replicants, and I think it's done in a really beautiful, raw way. But I think the point is that these memories that he has makes him human, in the same way that any memory that we have ever seen, you have ever seen, any individual memory that you've seen, that you've, taken a moment and been like, wow, isn't this amazing? Whatever it might be, that makes you human. That experience, that memory makes you human. And at the end of the day, existentially, like I say, it doesn't matter. None of it actually matters. So why give it all of this precedence, right? This idea of mortality too. I'm thinking back to like the Iliad, this idea of immortality, of you making your name so famous it never dies. It's like, okay, but eventually it will. Any level of immortality that you can possibly achieve as a human will die eventually. So at the end of the day, any beauty to be found in any individual memory is only really properly experienced by you. And just because that'll never last, or just because that only lasts in your mind, in your memory, doesn't mean that it's lesser in validity. Doesn't mean it's less beautiful. Maybe that's humanity.
Time to die.
Right, and there's always a time to die, and that's okay too. That's part of it. There's so much to be found in this film, I feel like. Yeah, where's your meaning? Where are you going to find that?
Maybe in those last moments he loved life more than he ever had before. Not just his life, anybody's life.
Yeah, and I think it's more powerful that he just stopped.
All he'd wanted were the same answers the rest of us want.
Right.
Where do I go?
Exactly.
Where am I going?
What's my purpose?
How long have I got?
Yeah.
All I could do was sit there and watch him die.
I think it's such a beautiful ending for that. It's so beautifully absent of climax, and I think pays off the nuance and the complexity in this film by having it happen that way. He just stops.
I guess you're through, huh?
Finished.
Is that for him? For Deckard?
It's too bad she won't live.
Rachel.
Who does?
Who does? Again, that question, what is living? What is that defined by? Are we all just going through the motions in this cycle of work, eat, sleep, repeat?
Rachel?
Oh, yeah. Sleeping? Okay, thank God. Sweet. Alright, get away, mate. Get out, yeah?
You love me?
Whoa, hey, we just kissed.
I love you.
Okay, wow, fair. This is a lot. You know what? I just gotta accept this, haven't I? Fair enough. Oh, the origami. What's his face? I like how she's reclaimed her a level of personality in the way that she styles her hair. You know, the way she let it go. Now she's just that subtle detail that represents her gaining greater freedom.
Gaff had been there and let her live.
Huh.
4 years, he figured. He was wrong.
Right.
I didn't know how long we'd have together.
But it didn't matter.
Who does?
Yeah. What a beautiful, like, what a nuance, what a complex film it is in regards to the human condition. What makes us human, what really makes us human. And The Replicant, I think, created to exemplify that question, right? To make them this thing that really breaks us out of that mold almost, because they're so outside of it that you have to start asking the question of, okay, what is the point? We're so fleeting, but does that matter? We're all fleeting, you know, and this idea of power, do we have it? No, we don't. Actually, we're not so different from one another. And I think, yeah, like I say, the ultimate villain antagonist is these people deciding who is what and why, and what is the goal, right? Anyway, I'm sorry, I've waxed lyrical about this film. I think it's genuinely beautiful for all of the things that it brought up, but ultimately asks the question of what is humanity, what defines that, and actually when we're here, what means that we're living, what's the point? All of that kind of disguised as this mystery thriller, kind of noir, crime, detective with a mission. Very simple almost in plot, but I think under the surface has so much depth. But hey, that's my interpretation. What is yours? Please do let me know down in the comments. Do you disagree? Do you agree? But with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you're not familiar with my channel, I do other TV shows. I do The Good Place, which to be fair, deals with a lot of existential kind of, you know, what is the point of life? What is this existence that we live in? What is the point? What are the questions we should be asking? All of this stuff. All on my channel if you are interested. I do Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Better Call Saul. I've done Breaking Bad, Squid Game, all that kind of stuff too. So hey, if you're not subscribed already and any of that tickles your fancy, you liked the format of this video, I know not everyone does. I do talk a lot, I know. Please do consider subscribing down below. And hey, if you want a little bit more, please do consider clicking on either of these videos right here to keep the hype train rolling. Thank you, as always, to those who do support me. Genuinely, just thank you for your support. If anyone wants to do that, there are some links in the description down below. I have early access to my videos on my Patreon and YouTube memberships. But that is it from me. I hope you enjoyed this Blade Runner. If you want to see me cover the sequel, please let me know down in the comments below. But other than that, thank you once more. I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you soon.